Rimp can be pretty good. But here they have a Tri-Spikes Axie with Tiny Dino. Now this is fairly recent after the MMR reset, so some players haven't quite calibrated yet. Not the usual quality of team you'd see up at the top ranks, but if the player's up here, they must be a solid player, so we're not going to underestimate them here. We've got a fairly aggressive hand starting out. We can go this Trump and the Rice and the Trump as well to try and get some chip damage off. However, as it is the Tri-Spikes build, I'm a bit wary that if they do pass and we leave them on 4 energy, that this tank's going to be useless. But relying on the steal here and then playing some of the cards to let us get away with that. Another thing to say is that because they have this Tiny Dino, they can't really go with an effective Tri-Spikes until round 5, unless they draw their Cerastus. And that means that they're probably quite likely to come through this beast here on our tank and save the Tri-Spikes for the mid game. So they played 2 energy there with a Carrot and a Sirius. They got energy back from both, but we did get a steal on top as well. So that's going to put them at 4 energy going into this next round. Now that is very worrying here because we aren't able to cover the Tri-Spikes effectively. They could have the beast coming through. So we're going to take the risk and go with this Leaf Bug Hatsune, expecting beast cards. Fortunately, they did go with the beast cards there. I don't think it's enough to keep us alive. It's going to be 172 coming through, yep. So we are dead, but at least got some value with the Leaf Bug Hatsune coming out of the tank. Might as well get that value there. Of course, we would have preferred to survive, but that's one thing. Those small margins can win you games if you are able to survive. Now into the next round. They play 3 of their energy, so they're going to be at 3 again. And we're just going to play around the tank here. If they put up some shield with the Carrot, this Trump and Balloon are going to be enough to get the kill. If they put up a Pumpkin or higher shield, then the follow-up Trump should be enough to get the kill on the tank. And unfortunately, they've gone with 2 Rice and they've stolen both of our spare energy. Now that's very unfortunate because we couldn't really outplay that effectively, although we knew it was something that could come through. So well played from the opponent, it was well-timed Sirius. And we haven't really got a good option here. I'm going to go with this Balloon Pop anyway, because not really expecting beast cards, probably some Reptile moves. And then I'm going to hold on to our offense and just try and go with bird cards in the following round. Okay, so they spent 4 energy of what would have been 5 there, which means they've still got 3 coming through, or potentially coming through next round. So I expect they'll look to try and defend their Reptile here. So we could save energy, but we're going to go with everything, just try and get the kill. They went with beast cards instead. Okay, this is interesting. So the opponent's gone very aggressive, and with a double balloon draw, we can actually get the kill using our Chumps and Peacemakers, assuming we survive. And we should survive here without a crit. Perfect. And there again goes to show that having that 30 shield over a move like Kestrel or an Eggshell there, it was very helpful. Now, we're in that spot where we can play the Trump and the Peacemaker. They're going to deal 160 apiece, and then 2 balloons. And I think balloon against the beast is 55 damage, and that's a lot for a 0 cost. So you might be able to get the kill here. I think worst case they will last stand, and then we'll end up drawing. Okay, let's see how much damage is coming through. 53, and we just eke out the kill. So that was a very tight game. You saw there was not a lot that went our way there, with the steal back from the opponent round 1, then the well-timed double steal catching us off guard. But we did manage to triumph with that high amount of shield that turn there. Without the 30 shield coming from our Trump, we would not have survived. Okay, so into the next game here, against a very interesting team. We've got a Shrimp and then an Indian Star Nemo backliner. So they have 2 sources of energy gain, which is generally a bit over the top, but it's going to be a pain in the ass for us here, because we really don't want this Shrimp to come through onto our bird, as our midliner here is all melee, and that will not do very well against this Indian Star, which I guess is the thinking of this build, because they can knock off birds with the Shrimp, and if they're facing Terminators or something like that, then they can brick wall or at least survive to the 1v1 and make use of this Indian Star. But we are going to go aggressive with a double steal, for that exact reason we mentioned, where we don't want this Shrimp coming through onto our bird. And we know the best way to negate that is to steal their energy back so that they can't even afford to go for it. Now we know in this position their highest damage combo is going to be a Shrimp and then 2 Arandas, so if they did draw that, they would have just enough to get the kill. However, we are more worried about a Yam coming through from the opponent. So we've played our Hatsune Sirius here to again try and limit their energy, but also to hope that we can disable their Yam, and then next round play a brick wall on our bird to get the kill on the tank and also defend against an incoming backdoor. So we've seen one Yam out the opponent, that means the next one is going to be disabled. They played a Yam, Leaf Bug, so 1 energy, got 1 energy back, but we got a steal, so they're at 4 here. Now we cannot survive against the 4 card combo from that Axie, so there is that to keep in mind, that if they do have 4 energy here, we're still going to go down. But we are able to pretty nicely get a kill on the tank. So these 2 cards, they'll bring them to last stand. So in the case that they do come through with a backdoor, 4 cards onto our bird, our trump will hit their midliner, and then the follow-up Leafbug series is just in case they don't backdoor. We again want to try and limit their energy if they defend their tank. All of these cards should be enough to get the kill. These 2, as we said, will last stand it. If they play a pumpkin, the trump will last stand it, and if they play a pumpkin plus a Sirius, then the Sirius Leafbug is going to finish them off. Okay, so they did get their 4 card combo there, and as we said, bring them to last stand, and then the trump is going to come through on their mid. Now this still is not ideal, although we did get good value out of our bird before it died to the backdoor, which is generally what you want to do. We aren't going to be able to effectively play around this 1v1 Axie, because as we said at the start, we're all melee and they've got an Indian start. So it might have to be a bit tricky here. I think what we're mainly relying on is this watering can. So what we're going to do is we're not going to use the watering can here. We're just going to play these 3 attacks and hope, well not hope, but the thinking is that because we have a watering can and haven't showed a watering can yet, the opponent is going to try and wait till they've seen at least one of those. So we're going to hold on to our watering can and basically just force them to attack into it next turn if they do choose to pass. If they attack, of course, we're stuffed and we've messed up, and they have attacked. So ignore everything I just said, didn't pull off. Again, this is one thing about the MMR being reset, is I haven't faced these players before. I'm also not sure what sort of skill level we're looking at, so that could have been an outplay that they made on us, recognizing our outplay, or it could have just been that they didn't think of the watering can. Either way, worked out for them, not good for us. So they're at 3 energy here. We know that they're probably going to try and use at least 2 attacks and maybe a bulwark as well. The question really is how many cards we use, and I think we just go with everything, because if they do attack us, we know that they're going to be triggering our watering can because their damage moves are all aqua. However, if they choose to pass, we're going to deal enough damage that with a 4 card combo we should be able to get through and kill them in the following round. And that is a double Indian start, so shouldn't be able to get the kill on us here, as we have played our Hatsune and all this massive shield, and although they played the double Indian star, these 2 watering cans are ranged, so we won't get any reflect damage from those. So that's a good round for us. They are again at 3 energy, and hopefully now that our deck may have reset since we're in round 6, we'll see another rice. Unfortunately we didn't see the rice, but we did get a pretty nice hand anyway. We can go with all these attacks, basically just trying to put them low enough so that in the following round we can get through and get the kill. Though we do have to be worried because we are 55 speed and so are they. So if we go with this play that I was looking to make, and we go for this massive offense and they survive, generate an energy, they would be able to get the kill on us. So we're going with this, but we are worried that it could backfire massively. So they will survive and they will also save an energy, so this is getting a bit scary here. Though our hope is that we'll last stand and we'll manage to get our watering can off and just squeak out the kill. Okay. Looks like a lamb, not going to be enough without a crit. Oof. Just lasted there, and we get the watering can and eke out the win. So that was a tight one there. We faced the shrimp, which is pretty much our arch nemesis with these sort of birds. If you're not facing shrimp and you're not facing a backdoor bird, you tend to be in a good spot because you have such a rounded build that you can beat lots of 1v1 Axies. But anyway, into the next one. Hopefully we'll face some more aquas to show off this trump hit. We've got a tough matchup here against a double reptile, though the things that we do have in our favour are the steel, which is very nice against a tri-spikes build, and then the high damage coming through from our hair and our trumps. And hopefully what will happen is that we'll weaken this Terminator before it gets to the 1v1, then we'll be able to finish it off with a hair, then a balloon at some point, and then 2 other attacks, and we'll be able to get through. Though if we do get to the 1v1 without injuring this Terminator, they will be able to survive, and if they've got the double leg in your hand, slow us and then kill us in the following round. Interestingly, they've gone very aggressive here. On our order, we should have played the Hatsune first because they have stuns, and then gone with a double leaf bug afterwards, so that's a small mistake there. but small mistakes do add up, and that might cost us later in the game. So we've seen a lot of offense, so we don't have to worry about that. We also know they're at 2 energy, so of course don't have to worry about tri-spikes. Most likely is that they defend their tank here. Unfortunately, they didn't play any tank cards last time, so we won't have disabled their Yam with that Hatsune. So with that in mind, we're going to pass, worrying about the Yam coming out the opponent. Okay, so they've gone with a Thorny and then what looks like a Pumpkin Leaf Bug. So they're going to be at 3 energy next turn. Still no Yam, so we don't really want to attack with our bird. Though if we do draw a Rice or something like that, we can go a bit aggressive here with this midliner. And we did manage to draw a Rice. We're going to go the Rice, the Goldfish and the Risky Fish. We're going to hold on to our trumps to try and chain them later in the game, and also not attack with our bird cards, although we could get a kill because we don't want to risk the Yam. Because if we are going into a 1v1 against the Terminator and they're not weakened, even if they do get double slow, if we have enough health, we can actually get through and win. So of course, if we get Yam on us this early on, we're going to tick down, they're going to be able to eke out the win in the 1v1. Okay, so that's a single pumpkin out of the opponent. They were at 3 energy. So they played 1, we stole 1, they're going to be back at 3. Means we don't have to worry about that much damage coming through on us, but still haven't seen any Yam, and that is a worrying sight. So here we are going to play our trump without a combo, and the main reason is because again we don't want to play any bird cards into a Yam, and we have just seen both of their pumpkins as well, so we know that we're going to be able to get the kill here. There's also a possibility that they play a double Yam. Players have made weirder plays, so that's one thing that we're going to watch out for. Worst case really is that they last stand, and they don't clear it with any of the moves, and then we can't follow up with our bird cards. But they have played 2 cards, so even if they last stand as they have done here, they'll clear it themselves, so it's a good spot for us. They've also spent 2 energy again, so they're sitting at 3. If I were the opponent, probably would have held on to that Yam because it didn't give them too much value there. And here in this position, we could play the Rice. Really, it depends whether we're expecting a Tri-Spikes Brick Wall or attacks from the Terminator. But either way, I'm going to hold on to the Rice, and then I'm going to play the 2 trumps because, of course, we've already used 1 trump out of the midliner. So unless that deck resets and we redraw a trump, we're not going to see another trump. So I'm going to use that for the damage here. With combo, it actually deals similar to what our hair does, and then we can hold on to the hair to use against the Terminator. We're ending off with the balloon just in case they go with the Tri-Spikes, and we can fear it and they'll be forced into our mid. Okay, and there's the Tri-Spikes out of the opponent. Again, not the end of the world, because what will happen is that next round we'll be able to get the kill with 1 bird card and then follow up with aqua cards to get that weakened Terminator that we were looking for by the time we get to the 1v1. So we got the crit there. As we were saying, we were really far ahead in this game anyway, and I think we would have pretty comfortably won. There wasn't much the opponent could have done to outplay there. Maybe they could have brick walled their tank, but their midliner, but as we said, we would have split from both Axies, and we had 5 energy in the tank there, so really not all that could have gone wrong. Even if we played 4 energy worth of cards and just wasted it into their midliner, we still would have had that 3 card combo to take on the Terminator. So unfortunately we did get a crit and couldn't show off the end game there, but what can you do? Crits happen. More often than not they go against you. You get crit and it's unfortunate, but here it was unfortunate because we didn't get to show off our plays. But here it was unfortunate because we weren't able to play out the end game, and there's another crit as well to get the kill.